Welcome to Nice Sleep, the place where dreams begin before your eyes even close. Good evening, dear listeners. I'm Daniel, your new guide through the enchanting world of bedtime stories. I know many of you were accustomed to Alex's voice leading you into the land of dreams, but tonight, I hope to continue that beautiful journey with you. Together, we'll explore new tales, visit magical places, and drift into peaceful slumber. So, get cozy, let the day's worries melt away, and prepare to embark on a new adventure. Tonight, I'll be sharing a special story with you, titled The Christmas Eve of Forgotten Dreams. It's a tale of nostalgia, love, and the magic of Christmas. Let's unwind, relax, and let the story unfold. Now, as we settle in, I invite you to find a comfortable position. Whether you're nestled in your bed or resting on a chair, let your body relax. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath. Inhale the serenity of the night and exhale any tension or stress. Imagine the softness of snowflakes falling outside your window, each one unique and tranquil. Let this peacefulness envelop you, just like a warm, cozy blanket. Envision the twinkling lights of Christmas, a gentle glow that soothes and comforts. Feel the warmth of these lights as they guide you through the snowy paths of Alderidge, the charming town from our story. With each breath, drift deeper into relaxation, your heart filling with the joy and wonder of the holiday season. As you relax, let your mind be free of worries. Tonight is a journey to a place where forgotten dreams come alive and new memories are born. In the world of The Christmas Eve of Forgotten Dreams, you'll find a heartwarming tale waiting to be discovered. So, let go, let peace wash over you, and let the magic of this Christmas story fill your dreams. In Alderidge, a town where Christmas was not just a festivity, but a heartfelt celebration, Emily Carter lived a life as quiet as the snowflakes that gently adorned its streets. A librarian in her mid-50s, Emily's world, since her husband's passing, was confined to the comforting rows of books and the occasional polite exchanges with the townsfolk. Alderidge, with its twinkling lights and evergreen garlands, was a picture-perfect postcard of Christmas joy. But for Emily, it was a reminder of the solitude that her life had become. On a particularly cold December evening, as Emily was closing the library, a soft knock on the door echoed through the silence. Puzzled, as it was past closing time, she hesitated but decided to answer. Outside, the cobblestone streets were empty, save for a beautifully wrapped package left on the doorstep. Intrigued and slightly apprehensive, Emily brought the package inside, noting its unusual weight and the elegant handwriting on the tag that read, "For Emily, a journey through time. In the quiet of the library, with only the soft hum of the heater as her companion, Emily carefully unwrapped the package. Inside was an old journal, its leather cover worn and pages yellowed with age. The journal felt heavy in her hands, not just with its physical weight, but with the weight of untold stories. As she opened it, a pressed rose fell out, its petals still surprisingly vibrant. The first page held a name, Jonathan H. Alderidge, dated December 1923. Emily's eyes widened in recognition. Jonathan Alderidge, the town's founder, was a figure shrouded in mystery and local folklore. His tale was one of love, loss, and a legendary Christmas miracle that the elders still whispered about. The journal, filled with his elegant script, beckoned Emily into a world she had only known through the pages of history books. As she turned the pages, Emily was transported to a time when Alderidge was just blossoming under Jonathan's ambitious vision. His words were poetic, recounting the crisp winters, the warmth of community gatherings, and his profound love for a woman named Clara, whose mention brought a vividness to his storytelling. But it was his final entry that caught Emily's breath. A heart-wrenching account of a Christmas Eve when everything changed. Emily's heart raced with a mix of excitement and melancholy. The journal was not just an old relic. It was a window into the soul of a man who had shaped the very essence of Alderidge. It whispered secrets of the past, of a love so profound that it transcended time, and of a Christmas tale that was more than just folklore. It was as if Jonathan's spirit had chosen her to unveil the truth hidden within these pages. As the clock chimed, marking the late hour, Emily knew her quiet life in Alderidge was about to change. This mysterious gift had ignited a spark within her, a curiosity that wouldn't be satiated until she uncovered the full story of Jonathan and Clara. With the journal clutched close to her chest, she stepped out into the snowy night, her heart beating in rhythm with the promise of an adventure that lay ahead. In the shadows of the towering pines and the festive glow of Christmas lights, Emily felt a connection to the past that she had never experienced before. She was no longer just a spectator of Alderidge's history. She was about to become a part of its unfolding story. The winter morning in Alderidge broke with a crystalline clarity, the sun casting a golden hue over the snow-laden town. Emily, having spent a restless night pondering over the journal, sat at her kitchen table, the old tome open before her. It was a gateway to a forgotten era, each page a mosaic of emotions and history penned by Jonathan, a man whose legacy was etched into the very foundations of Alderidge. As she delved deeper into the journal, Emily discovered that Jonathan was not just a town founder, but a visionary with a heart full of dreams. His words painted a vivid picture of Alderidge in its nascent years, a time of communal camaraderie and burgeoning traditions. He wrote of the first Christmas market where stalls twinkled under lantern light, of the inaugural winter ball, and of the grand Christmas tree that he himself had planted in the town square. These were traditions that had stood the test of time, evolving yet ever rooted in Jonathan's original vision. But it was the story of Clara that captivated Emily the most. Clara, Jonathan's muse and confidant, danced through the pages of the journal like a lost melody. Her spirit seemed intertwined with the town's very soul, her laughter echoing in the festive air, her grace reflected in the delicate snowflakes. Their love was a tapestry of passion and depth, but as Emily turned each page, a sense of foreboding grew. There were hints of a shadow falling over their love, a creeping sorrow that seemed to bleed through Jonathan's words. One entry, in particular, caught Emily's eye. Dated a week before Christmas, Jonathan wrote of a planned surprise for Clara, a gesture that would seal their love forever. But the pages that followed were agonizingly blank, the story left hanging like a broken melody. What had happened to Clara? Why did Jonathan cease to write? The questions swirled in Emily's mind, a whirlpool of curiosity and empathy. Compelled by a force she couldn't explain, Emily decided she needed to learn more. She ventured into town, the journal tucked safely in her bag. The streets of Alderidge, now bustling with festive preparations, seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Her first stop was the town archives, a treasure trove of historical records and forgotten tales. There, amidst dusty shelves and creaking floorboards, she hoped to uncover the missing pieces of Jonathan and Clara's story. As Emily sifted through old newspapers, photographs, and letters, the puzzle began to take shape. She discovered mentions of Clara, a woman ahead of her time, known for her charitable work and radiant presence. But just as Jonathan's journal had suggested, Clara's trace seemed to vanish from the town's history, leaving behind a void filled with speculation and whispers. Emily's journey through the journal and the archives became more than just a quest for truth. It was a journey through the heart of Alderidge, a town that held its secrets close. With each discovery, Emily felt a growing connection to Jonathan and Clara, their story a mirror to her own heart's longing and loss. But she knew she was on the brink of a revelation, one that could change the way Alderidge celebrated its Christmas and remembered its past. As the day faded into evening, and the Christmas lights of Alderidge began to twinkle like stars, Emily felt a sense of anticipation. She was no longer just the town librarian. She was a guardian of its hidden history, a seeker of its lost love stories. And she knew that the answers she sought were waiting to be found, hidden in the shadows of time and the glow of Christmas magic. The winter sun cast a soft, golden light over Alderidge as Emily, with Jonathan's journal in hand, embarked on a quest through time. She wandered through the town's cobbled streets, each step echoing with the whispers of a bygone era. Her destination was the Alderidge Historical Museum, a repository of the town's past, housed in a Victorian-era building that stood as a testament to the town's rich history. Upon entering the museum, Emily was greeted by an array of artifacts and photographs, each telling a story of Alderidge's heritage. It was here that she met Tom, a volunteer at the museum with an encyclopedic knowledge of Alderidge's history. With a kind smile and an inquisitive glance at the journal, he offered to assist Emily in her quest. As they delved into the museum's archives, a tapestry of Jonathan and Clara's life began to unfold. They discovered old photographs of the couple, their gazes locked in a moment of timeless affection. Tom unearthed newspaper clippings about Jonathan's contributions to the town, including the establishment of the annual Christmas market and the winter ball, events that had become cornerstones of Alderidge's festive traditions. But it was a faded, yellowed letter, tucked away in a forgotten drawer, that offered a glimpse into the tragedy that had befallen the couple. The letter, written by Jonathan, spoke of a devastating illness that had struck Clara, casting a shadow over their plans and dreams. It revealed a man torn between his love for Clara and his duty to Alderidge, his words a blend of despair and unwavering hope. As Emily and Tom pieced together the fragments of the past, they uncovered a legend about a Christmas miracle that Jonathan had hoped for, a miracle he believed would save Clara. The tale spoke of a rare Christmas Eve alignment of stars, a celestial event that Jonathan had thought would bring healing and renewal. Moved by the story, Emily and Tom decided to visit the very places where Jonathan and Clara had spent their days. They strolled through the town square, stood under the grand Christmas tree that Jonathan had planted, and wandered through the now silent halls of the winter ball. Each location held echoes of the couple's love and the impending tragedy that loomed over their story. As they explored, a bond began to form between Emily and Tom. Their shared journey through Jonathan and Clara's history, weaving a connection between them. They found solace in each other's company, their conversations a blend of historical facts and personal reflections. The day ended with a visit to the local church, where Jonathan and Clara had often attended. There, amidst the stained glass and flickering candlelight, Emily and Tom made a discovery that would change the course of their quest. Hidden in an old, dusty ledger was a record of a charitable donation made by Jonathan on a Christmas Eve in Clara's name. The donation was for the construction of a new wing in the local hospital, a wing dedicated to treating the very illness that had afflicted Clara. As they left the church, the sky darkened, and the Christmas lights of Alderidge glimmered to life, casting a magical glow over the town. Emily and Tom, walking side by side, realized that their quest was more than just uncovering a forgotten story. It was about bringing to light a tale of enduring love, a tragedy that had shaped the town's history, and a century-old Christmas miracle that still resonated in the heart of Alderidge. As December's chill deepened, the town of Alderidge buzzed with anticipation for the grand Christmas gala, an event steeped in tradition and started by none other than Jonathan himself a century ago. This year, however, the gala was to be more than just a celebration. It was to be a tribute to Jonathan and Clara, a resurrection of their love story that had been lost in the whispers of time. Emily and Tom, now united in their quest, took it upon themselves to recreate the gala as it had been in Jonathan's era. They envisioned an evening that would not only honor Jonathan's memory, but also rekindle the old world charm and romance that once graced Alderidge. Their first task was to visit the local artisans and craftsmen, engaging them in their vision. They commissioned handcrafted decorations reminiscent of the early 1900s, ensuring every detail echoed the authenticity of the period. From the town hall to the quaint streets, Alderidge was to be transformed into a yesteryear wonderland, complete with gaslight lamps, holly wreaths, and ribbons. Emily, with her keen eye for history, delved into fashion, studying period attire to ensure the townspeople's costumes reflected the era's elegance. Tom, with his knack for storytelling, worked on a narrative that would be woven into the evening, a tale that would bring Jonathan and Clara's story to life for all the attendees. As they worked tirelessly, the bond between Emily and Tom grew stronger. They found comfort in each other's company, their conversations meandering from plans for the gala to personal anecdotes and laughter. In the midst of the whirlwind preparations, they discovered a shared love for the quaint traditions of Alderidge, a mutual respect for history, and an unspoken understanding of each other's past sorrows. The eve of the gala arrived, and Alderidge was a sight to behold. The town hall, lit by flickering candles and adorned with garlands, opened its doors to a procession of townsfolk dressed in period costumes. The air was filled with the sound of classical music, the clinking of glasses, and the murmur of excited voices. Emily and Tom, dressed in their finest attire from Jonathan's era, stood at the entrance, welcoming the guests. The highlight of the evening was the unveiling of a large portrait of Jonathan and Clara, recently restored and placed at the center of the hall. Beneath it, Tom narrated the love story they had pieced together, captivating the audience with tales of passion, tragedy, and undying hope. As the night progressed, Emily and Tom shared a dance under the soft glow of the chandeliers. Around them, the gala buzzed with life. But in their world, Time seemed to stand still. Their dance was a moment of connection, a silent acknowledgement of the journey they had shared, and the unspoken feelings that had begun to blossom between them. The gala was not just a remembrance of the past, it was a celebration of new beginnings. As the clock struck midnight, signaling the end of the event, Emily and Tom stood together, looking out at the joyous faces of the townspeople. They had not only succeeded in reviving a century-old tradition, but had also ignited a spark of hope and love in their own hearts, under the watchful eyes of Jonathan and Clara, whose story had brought them together. The Christmas gala in Alderidge, bathed in the golden glow of candlelight and adorned with relics of a bygone era, had become a portal to the past. Emily, her heart a fluttering mix of nerves and excitement, prepared to unveil the story of Jonathan and Clara, a tale that had become her own in so many ways. As the clock in the town hall chimed, signaling the heart of the evening, the crowd gathered around the grand fireplace, where a fire crackled merrily. Emily stepped forward, the journal clutched in her hands, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. She began to narrate the story she and Tom had so meticulously pieced together, a story of love, loss, and the enduring magic of Christmas. The townsfolk listened, enraptured as Emily brought to life the romance between Jonathan and Clara. She spoke of their first meeting under the Alderidge oak, their moonlit dances at the winter ball, and their plans to build a life together. But as she delved into the tragedy, Clara's illness, and Jonathan's desperate hope for a Christmas miracle, the room fell into a hushed silence, each person touched by the depth of emotion that wove through her words. At the story's climax, Tom stepped forward, his expression a blend of pride and vulnerability. He revealed a secret that he had discovered only recently. He was a descendant of Jonathan, a fact that he had uncovered through old family records. This revelation sent a murmur through the crowd, and Emily looked at him with new eyes, her heart swelling with a mixture of surprise and a deeper sense of connection. Tom's revelation added a poignant layer to the evening. The story of Jonathan and Clara was no longer just a chapter of Alderidge's history. It was a living legacy, continuing through Tom and now intertwined with Emily's own journey. The gala transformed into a tribute not just to Jonathan and Clara, but to the enduring power of love and the timeless spirit of Christmas. The townsfolk, moved by the story, began to share their own tales of love and loss, weaving a tapestry of community and shared histories. The town hall, filled with laughter and tears, echoed with the warmth of shared experiences and the comforting embrace of traditions, old and new. As the evening drew to a close, Emily and Tom stood side by side, watching the guests depart under the soft snowfall. The gala had been more than a success. It had been a catharsis, a unifying moment for the town of Alderidge. And for Emily and Tom, it was a confirmation of their deepening bond, a realization that their journey together was just beginning. The story of Jonathan and Clara, with its poignant conclusion and enduring legacy, had not only captivated the hearts of the townsfolk, but had also rekindled the flame of love and hope in Emily's heart. Under the twinkling lights of the Christmas gala, she realized that the past could indeed touch the present, guiding hearts towards a future filled with newfound love and possibilities. The morning after the gala, Alderidge awoke to a blanket of fresh snow. The world transformed into a shimmering winter wonderland. Emily, standing at her window, watched as the first rays of sunlight danced across the snow, reflecting a spectrum of possibilities. The gala had not only been a journey back in time, but also a passage to healing and new beginnings. In the wake of the revelations and connections of the previous night, Emily felt a profound sense of closure. The story of Jonathan and Clara, so intricately entwined with her own discovery and healing, had helped her come to terms with her past. The grief and loneliness that had once shrouded her heart were now replaced with a sense of peace and a readiness to embrace the future. Tom, who had become not just a partner in her quest, but a dear friend and confidant, was a significant part of this new chapter. Their shared journey had sparked something deeper, a bond forged through shared stories, laughter, and a mutual understanding of loss and love. As they met that morning, their conversation was filled with plans and dreams, not just for themselves, but for the town they both cherished. Together, they envisioned revitalizing Alderidge's Christmas traditions, infusing them with the spirit and stories of the past, while inviting new generations to add their own chapters. They planned to establish an annual storytelling night, where the tale of Jonathan and Clara, along with other stories from Alderidge's rich history, would be shared, keeping the town's heritage alive. The community, inspired by the gala and the story of its founders, rallied around these ideas. People began to come forward with their own pieces of history, photographs, letters, and artifacts, creating a collective memory that enriched the town's identity. Alderidge, always picturesque during the festive season, now buzzed with a renewed vigor, its residents bonded by a shared past and a renewed sense of purpose. As the Christmas season progressed, Emily found herself at a crossroads of her own making. Inspired by Jonathan's journal, she decided to start a new one. Sitting at her desk, she opened a blank journal, its pages crisp and inviting. With a deep breath, she began to write, not about the past, but about the present and the future. She wrote about the gala, about Tom, and about the stirrings of new love and hope in her heart. This journal, unlike the one she had found, would not be a tale of what was lost, but of what was found and what was yet to come. It was her story, one of finding love in unexpected places, of connecting with a community, and of beginning anew. As Emily penned the last words of her first entry, she looked out at the snow-covered town, feeling a kinship with its quiet strength and enduring beauty. Alderidge, with its twinkling lights and festive cheer, was no longer just a backdrop to her life. It was a part of her, a canvas on which her new story would unfold. The Christmas of that year marked not just the celebration of a holiday, but the start of a new journey for Emily, Tom, and the town of Alderidge. It was a testament to the power of community, the resilience of the human heart, and the endless possibilities that each new beginning holds.